Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am so very pleased to welcome you to the University of Kentucky English Department's 42nd Annual Awards Day, an event that brings us together to celebrate the accomplishments of our students, faculty, and staff. I'm Jill Rappaport, the new chair of English, and it's particularly invigorating to be here with you at such an exciting moment for our department. After challenging pandemic years, we are finally building back. This year saw the growth of our English major and course enrollments, and we are expecting even higher numbers next year. Our undergraduate students have been re-engaging with commitment and talent to Graphite, our creative writing club, and Sigma Tau Delta, our very active chapter of an International English Honor Society. They took part in an important series of career conversations, and as some of you were able to see, they shared many of their achievements at last night's undergraduate showcase. Our graduate students had a tremendously successful symposium this spring and have formed new working groups in areas of affect studies, environmental and eco-critical writing, and the study of teaching and learning to enrich their research, teaching, and interdisciplinary collaborations. And our faculty continue to do the extraordinary work you might expect here at the University of Kentucky. In addition to giving countless talks and publishing numerous essays and creative works, we celebrated new books by Peter Collini, Frank X. Walker, and Damaris Hill, and are expecting the arrival of at least 3 more this summer. And just as importantly, our faculty remain dedicated to their work with students within and beyond the classroom, and I'll say more about their teaching and mentorship later. And our department community continues to grow in other ways with new physical spaces taking shape to host our meetings. Our brand new conference room is almost finished, and many new opportunities to come together to discuss the literature, creative writing, and film that we all care so much about. I'd like to thank our extremely hardworking department managers, Kristen Pickett and Robin Rahia, for their help with organizing and planning this Awards Day program and ceremony, and for all that they do throughout the year to keep our department running smoothly. And I'd like to thank Stanton Brown and Darren Atkins, the IT staff members from Cornerstone Esports, for organizing the live streaming of this event. Thank you also to the department's Associate Chair, Crystal Wilkinson, our Director of Graduate Studies, Damaris Hill, our Director of Undergraduate Studies, Michelle Sizemore, and our Director of Creative Writing, Frank X. Walker, for all the work they've done to make this event happen and for all the many ways in which they've supported our students over this past year. To our students, thank you so much for continuing to inspire and teach us. Your thoughtful and important questions, your clear, critical, and creative thinking, and your innovative and persuasive writing will serve you well as you go out into the broader world. And they also help to show those larger communities why our collective commitments to the humanities matter, now more than ever. Working with you is a pleasure and an honor. Please know that you remain part of this department community, and we very much hope that you will stay tuned for opportunities to come back, to share your experiences, and to take part in and enjoy some very exciting programming that is on the horizon. So read those alumni newsletters. We want to see you back here. And thank you to your family and friends, some of whom are here with you today, who support you and share in your achievements. There are many alumni and friends of the department whose generous contributions of time, energy, and donor dollars make so much of our work possible, and who have also provided the resources for many of the awards being presented today. We are grateful for the financial support that allows us to think big, to imagine ways to bring in and support our incredible students. Recruitment fellowships, internships, research travel, and writing residencies are just some of the many high-impact ways that these gifts can be put to use. To all of our donors, recent and long-standing, thank you for your gifts to us and your investment in our department community over the last year. And last but not least, I'd also like to thank members of Arts and Sciences Philanthropy and Alumni Engagement staff, Laura Sutton, Deborah Gold, Gavin Colton, and Nikki Fry, for their ideas, support, and ongoing work in stewardship and development. Thank you. Speaking of alumni, it is now a great pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, our Alumnus of the Year. This award recognizes people who have graduated from English, either as undergraduate or graduate students, and our Alumni of the Year have gone on to do extraordinary things and continue to recognize the University of Kentucky's Department of English as an important part of their story. To the students here, I trust that we will be welcoming back some of you in this capacity in years to come as well. This year, we celebrate Dr. Terence T. Tucker, a scholar of African American literature and chair of the English department at the University of Memphis. I'll say a few words about his accomplishments before passing the microphone to him. Dr. Terence Tucker held a Lyman T. Johnson Graduate Fellowship while he was a student in English at the University of Kentucky, earning his MA here in 2002 and his doctorate in 2006, with a specialization in African American literature. Working with former UK English faculty, Dr. Yolanda Pierce and Dr. Gordon Hutner, he wrote a dissertation that formed the basis of his first academic book, Furiously Funny: Comic Rage from Ralph Ellison to Chris Rock, which came out in 2018. After receiving his PhD, Dr. Tucker worked as an assistant professor at the University of Arkansas Fayetteville from 2006 to 2012, moving then to the University of Memphis, where he was promoted to the rank of associate professor in 2015. From 2014 to 2021, he served as the coordinator of the African American Literature Concentration at Memphis, growing that area with expanded teaching and programming before becoming chair of the English department there. Beyond his book, Dr. Tucker has published numerous essays on topics ranging from race and pedagogy to African American superheroes. His work appears in Pedagogy, the College Language Association Journal, and South, a scholarly journal, as well as in several edited volumes on teaching and literary history. His second book, The Rise of the Afrostocracy: Portraits of the Black Elite in Contemporary African American Literature, is under contract with the University of Florida Press, and we look forward to seeing it soon. Dr. Tucker is committed to both the practice and study of teaching, as evidenced by many of his articles, and by his work as a faculty mentor, supporting and directing numerous dissertations. This isn't surprising. A quick glance back at his early teaching evaluations from 2003 to 2005, yes I am, while he was a graduate student at UK, reveals a great deal of both praise and promise. Here are some comments from those earliest teaching days. What an amazing teacher. This was an outstanding class, mostly because we had such a wonderful professor. He encouraged us all to want to read more and showed how important it is to have a voice and use it. Terrence Tucker stimulated my interest in a subject I honestly didn't care to learn about. This class taught me to view life from a different perspective. And he made me want to do well because I knew he really wanted us to do well. In addition to his ongoing commitments to and achievements in both traditional scholarship and teaching, Dr. Tucker has a particularly impressive record in areas of community engagement and public-facing humanities. Along those lines, he has served as a speaker not only at academic conferences, but also in venues such as safety net events. He has served on the Faculty Advisory Committee of the Benjamin L. Hooks Institute for Social Change since 2016, and has been the recipient of grants to establish communities of research scholars on social justice and healing. He has organized and moderated programs on key humanities topics, such as contemporary portraits of the Underground Railroad. And he has also initiated a K-12 teachers workshop for his community that addresses such topics as African American literature and teaching race in the classroom. For Dr. Tucker's excellence in his scholarly field, his engagements with his students, and his deep commitments to social justice and humanities outreach, today we name him the 2023 UK English Alumnus of the Year. Congratulations, Terrence.
Thank you for digging up that those old. Oh my gosh. No, it's fine. Thank you very much for that. That's a heck of an introduction. I thought that those evaluations were dead and buried, so thanks for digging those up. Appreciate that. I didn't know where that was going to go. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you, Dr. Rappaport. Thank you to the faculty here. Thank you to the staff who's been setting everything up. As a chair, I know that you can't really run a department without an incredible staff, and so I want to say a big thanks to the staff for everything that you have done. Thank you to the students for being excellent. I want to say thanks to the parents and guardians and support systems because you can't really graduate, can't really progress in a degree by yourself. You sort of need a lot of help. I appreciate you mentioning the Lyman T. Johnson Fellowship because I would not have been able to go to graduate school or complete graduate school without being a Lyman T. Johnson Fellow. So I'm very thankful to everyone who sort of built that program and continues to maintain that program. It's such an important and critical way to encourage students to come and help students progress. I'm not going to take a lot of time because I know that you all are here to get awards and not listen to me, but I did have a couple of things I wanted to say, and so I was asking Dr. Rappaport, like, what should I talk about? And she was like, talk about some things that you learned at UK. So I thought that I would start with some practical things I learned, and then talk about some other things that I learned. So I learned when I was here that you cannot guard Dr. Andy Doolin one-on-one in a basketball game, which is something that I used to try all the time when I was here and was never really successful at. I also learned that if you play the faculty in a faculty versus graduate school kickball game, and you have a chance to hit one of your professors, you aim for the legs and not the head. I was thinking about that when Dr. Jonathan Allison was running, and I was like, do I want to hit him in the legs or in the head? I want to graduate, I'm going to go for the legs. So, just some things to be thinking about as you progress through your programs. I also learned, I used to live down Limestone. There's a house down Limestone that I used to live in. I used to live in the garage because they broke the house into parts because that's what I could afford. I learned, but you can walk to campus and I used to walk to my classes to teach and then walk back home and go to sleep. But one of the things I learned is that there's a parking lot next to it, and if you park there before they put the chains up, you don't have to pay for parking when you walk to the UK basketball games. Just a little piece of information. Think about this for graduation. Just know that don't tell them I told you. Okay, let's keep it between us. So those are some things I learned. I learned that you cannot write a dissertation on an empty stomach. And so my brother and my sister-in-law and my uncle and my aunt used to feed me all the time. And so I wouldn't starve to death, and so I'm very thankful to them for that. I appreciate that. My uncle is somewhere. Hi, Uncle, how are you? Good to see you. Okay, all right. So I was very thankful for that. I mean, but really it's about not being able to do things alone, right? Like, we don't go on these journeys by ourselves. We take our families with us, we take our communities with us, we take our friends with us. We think that we're doing it alone, but oftentimes there's so many people around us, helping us, guiding us, feeding us. And so those things matter. I also learned that you can't write a dissertation alone. And so I used to have a writing group. Matt Tolles and Rachel Simon were part of my writing group. We used to write together and revise together and cry together and worry about what our professors thought together. And so this is something for you graduate students to be thinking about. Don't go off and try to write by yourself. Form a group. I think it's really important. And the class I came in with were incredible people. They're going on to do a lot of great things, work at a lot of different places, and so that's really important. But onto some bigger things. One of the things I learned while being here is that English is the most dynamic and vital and necessary major in the entire university. A lot of fields get a lot of attention because they bring in lots of money, or because they garner lots of attention, or because it's an easy thing to tell your parents that you're going to do when you graduate from college. You can say, oh, I'm majoring in this, I'm going to be this. And then so often parents say, you're majoring in English. What is that? What are you going to do about that? What does that mean? What kind of job are you going to get? And yet, again and again, English is something that is so necessary to the development of our society, to the pushing of our society, to the pushing of the culture. You cannot have a society, you cannot move forward, you cannot deal with the problems of our world without English. English is not a narrow road to one specific job. It's a doorway to a raft of possibilities, right? And this is important because the last two generations have changed jobs every 3 to 4 years. People don't, my mother has worked at the same job for over 40 years. That doesn't happen as much as it used to anymore. People are constantly changing jobs, and in order to survive, you have to have skills that translate. You have to be adaptable, you have to be compassionate, you have to be inclusive. You have to be able to communicate. All my friends in corporate America talk about how bad the writing is, how difficult it is to communicate. And I say, well, I'm in a field where all we do is communicate, where all we do is write. Maybe you should come over and get our majors. And if you look at the jobs that my peers have gotten, if you look at the jobs that our students have gotten, they're in corporate America, they're doing communications work, they're living in China, they're living in Morocco, they're living in Korea, doing so much incredible work. It opens up all of the possibilities for us. And this is important in a society where in the first 20 years of the century, we've had 2 major economic upheavals. If we want to succeed, we have to be able to adapt. We have to hold on to the things that are housed right here in English. The ability to communicate, the ability to read and research critically, the ability to see the world from a perspective that is not our own. These are the things that are crucial to being able to survive as people are changing jobs, as 30% of people think about changing careers entirely. The ability to have certain skills that translate is going to be one of the most meaningful things that a person can have, that a graduate can have, and we have it right here in English. I wanted to mention that we talk a lot about innovation, but innovation begins with imagination. And we study imagination, or we engage imagination. These are the things that matter so much. Every generation needs this, and every generation will. And so one of the things that Dr. Rappaport was doing, and aside from telling my age, was talking about the fact that I was here when 9/11 happened, and I was here when the second Iraq War happened, and I was here when Hurricane Katrina happened, and I'm from Louisiana, and so Hurricane Katrina means, an awful lot to me. And it was the writers and the artists and the critics who held up the mirror to say, this is why this happened. This is what's going on. This is what it means. This is how we move forward. It's the writer and the artist and the critic that helped the country and helped the culture make sense of what was happening and why it was happening and how do we move forward. Some people tried to use data, some people tried to use science, some people tried to use politics or history, but it's the artist who helps the country move forward, helps the culture make sense of what is happening and what is going on. And that's the work of the English major. That's the work of the writer and the work of the artist and the cultural studier. It's doing that type of work, shaping the culture. I love to tell my students that every movie you've ever watched is based on a book. All these movies, all these Marvel cinema, like, what is this? This is all graphic novels. This is all novels. This is all story. Like, these are all stories that we tell, that we study, that shape the culture, that shape the future, that shape our perspective on life and what it means. You all have been here during some fairly interesting times, some fairly volatile and disturbing times, stories that we could all tell. We live in an age of misinformation. We live in an age of extremism. We live in an age of polarization. We live in an age when sometimes we don't listen to each other as much as we need to and as much as we should. Who is going to tell the story of this time? And I say you will. The stories are going to be yours to tell, because it's the job of the writer and the artist and the critic to find the nuance, to find the truth, to dig through all of the rhetoric and dig through all of the noise, dig through all the misinformation, and find the stories that need to be told. We're storytellers. The poet Muriel Rukeyser said, the universe is made up of stories, not atoms. What's the story you're going to tell? Whose story are you going to tell? What are you going to innovate? What are you going to imagine? How are you going to build a world or a lens for us to see the world more clearly than we find on the news or on Twitter or on social media or wherever else? You all are going to be the storytellers. And so think about the story that you want to tell. My favorite current writer is Jesmyn Ward. And if you read Men We Reaped, her memoir, if you read Seeing Unburied Seeing, the stories that she's interested in telling are the stories of the people who can't tell stories for themselves. She tells the stories of people who are marginalized, people who cannot speak for themselves. When we think about inclusion and the importance of inclusion, whose stories are the ones that aren't being told? We have to tell those stories because nobody else will. We have to tell those stories. Since the 2020 election, lots of people have been talking about the need to take civics, which I find really interesting because sometimes in the work that I do, people are always like, well, how does all of this lead to a specific job? That's nice. But then I've been asking myself, well, how does civics lead to a specific job? What kind of job do you get taking civics? But really what they're saying is that there's something beyond a job. Taking civics is about who are we going to be as a democracy? Who are we going to be as citizens? Who are we going to be as a culture? And I would say the same thing is true for us in English. The same thing is true. Finding our common humanity, finding our common history, finding our common stories. This is why English is so important, and every generation needs it. I'm going to end with some words by a poet I like, and I have one more practical thing to say. If you're going to be in an adaptation of Appalachia by Frank X. Walker, you should not be in graduate school taking 3 classes because it's a lot. I'm just saying that for a friend. But this poet I know, maybe you've heard of him. He said, we have Isaac Murphy'd our way down the back street. Cassius Clay'd our names in cement. We are the Amen Corner in Churchill Downs. I saw Keeneland on the way in. The mint in the julep. We put the heat in the hot brown and gave it color. Indeed, some of the bluegrass is black. There's so many stories to tell. Which story are you going to tell? I look forward to hearing them. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for those very powerful words and for being here with us today. And on behalf of the English Department of the University of Kentucky, we are so pleased to honor you as our 2023 Alumnus of the Year. I was told that I have to give awards on this side because otherwise the live streaming won't catch them. So I listened, and I know all of our other presenters and award recipients will listen as well. Thank you very much, Terrence, and congratulations. His excellence and his inspiration is an important part of why we honor our alumni in this way. We turn now to the student presentation section of the event, and I would like to introduce the Director of Undergraduate Studies, Michelle Sizemore, who will present the undergraduate awards. She will then introduce Michael Genovese, a past Director of Graduate Studies who is representing Damaris Hill to present our graduate awards, and then he will introduce Frank X. Walker, the Director of Creative Writing, who will introduce our Creative Writing Awards. So you'll hear a little less of me from this section. I will note here, but let them say more about these, that we are particularly excited to have 2 new awards today, and these will be introduced by Frank and by Julia Johnson. So this is Michelle Sizemore, and thank you very much.
Hi, thanks to everyone for coming out to celebrate our students today. And a special thanks to Robin Rahia for organizing this program. Right. All right. All right, the following awards for undergraduate excellence have been endowed in honor of English department faculty, or by the generous alumni contributors who give their names to these prizes. The major determining factors are nominations by the faculty, GPA and qualification for departmental honors, and the specifications of each award. The Undergraduate Studies Committee selects the awards from all the nominations received, right? We're very proud of these students, and it's my honor to present them to you today. So first, the first category will be the Senior Academic Awards. The Dantzler Award recognizes outstanding academic achievement by a senior graduating in English. This year's recipient is Sydney Skaggs. Is Sydney with us today? Hi, come on up. Sydney is graduating summa cum laude with a dual degree in English and political science. Sydney plans to attend law school after a gap year and hopes eventually to work in the sectors of criminal defense and public interest law. And for this segment of the program, I think we're going to do arm pats instead of handshakes. Congratulations. The second award is the O.J. and Ruby Wilson Scholarship for an Outstanding Senior. This award goes to Colton Barton. In his time at UK, Colton has won multiple awards for his research and has been selected to present at conferences such as the National Conference on Undergraduate Research. He's published with UK Knowledge and the Louis B. Nunn Center for Oral History. After graduation, he'll be pursuing his master's in English at the University of Kentucky. Congratulations, Colton. Stay right there. Colton has actually won 2 awards. The Bill Bridges Scholarship for an outstanding first-generation college graduate majoring in English. Congratulations again. The next award is the Julster Schrady Post Memorial Scholarship for English majors in the Lewis Honors College. The first recipient of this award this year is Caitlin Bilica. Caitlin received the Bluegrass Spirit Scholarship upon acceptance to UK. During her time here, she has worked as an editorial intern at the UK Press and as an intern doing research for a prospective Word magazine. She also wrote and presented an honors thesis entitled The Children's Book Industry in America. Caitlin plans to return to Colorado and seek positions in the publishing industry after graduation. Congratulations. The second recipient of the Jules Ster Schrady Post Memorial Scholarship also goes to Eleni Corellis. Eleni completed the creative writing option for English and received a minor in Appalachian Studies. Her honors thesis was a chapbook of Appalachian poetry. Her writing has been published in Still, an Appalachian literary journal, and she was the undergraduate winner of the King Library Press Broadside Contest for this academic year. After graduation, she will be going, because you didn't hear about the part that she had already gone. I had to cut that part out for the purposes of time. She will be going to the United Kingdom to seek her MA in creative writing at the University of Westminster in London. Congratulations. The next award is the Barbara Sutton Cowell Scholarship for an Outstanding Senior. The winner this year is Shayla Anaskevich. Shayla here? Great. During her time at UK, Shayla received the English Department's Digital Project Award group category last year and appeared on the Dean's List for multiple semesters. As she approaches graduation, she's considering positions in editing or project management. Congratulations, Shayla. The second recipient of the Barbara Sutton Cowell Scholarship goes to Bree Younger. While in college, Bree has developed a great love for working with children who have difficulty with reading. This semester, she has been a volunteer at the Carnegie Center for Literacy and Learning, teaching children with dyslexia. After graduation, she intends to continue her work as a reading interventionist in the Northern Kentucky area. Congratulations. The Patricia and William Stacy Endowed Fellowship in Undergraduate Education goes to Kaylee Dacre. Kaylee can't be with us today, but I want to say a few words about her bio. Kaylee is graduating with a double major in English and history. While at UK, she completed her undergraduate history thesis From Murderous Criminals to Romantic Adventurers, the mythology of piracy in the Caribbean, and was an intern for the Documenting Racial Violence in Kentucky project. Kaylee is a recipient of the Bluegrass Spirit Award and was on the Dean's List every semester at UK. She is looking forward to life in Tennessee, where she plans to enter the Dominican Sisters of St. Cecilia in Nashville, a Roman Catholic religious order, where she will become a religious sister, living a life of prayer and teaching high school students once she attains her teaching certificate. So, round of applause for Kayla. Okay, the Michael Adelstein Award for Prospective High School Teachers in English goes to Savannah Hinton. Savannah is a recipient of the Parker Scholarship and the UK Leeds Grant and winner of the Oswald Undergraduate Research Award. After graduation, she will earn her Master's in Education through UK's MIC program, funded in part by the Lyman T. Johnson Fellowship and the Grow Your Own Teacher Scholarship, awarded by the school district in her hometown of Kansas City, Missouri. In exchange for this scholarship, she will return to Kansas City to teach high school English in spring 2024. Congratulations, Savannah. All right, and now the second category of awards goes to, the second category of awards is our Distinguished Writing Awards, and those awards can go to students at any grade level, okay? So not just for seniors. The Paul and Alice Richardson Creative Writing Scholarship goes to Sierra Moore. Is Sierra here? Yeah. Sierra is a graduating senior. She aspires to become a renowned poet, novelist, and academic. She's planning to take a semester break before pursuing graduate studies to work, become more involved in community activism, and to further cultivate her healing and spiritual knowledge. She's unsure which graduate route she will take, but the options now consist of creative writing, education, or Africana studies. Congratulations. Right, the next award is the William Hugh Jansen Undergraduate Award for Distinguished Writing, and it is selected for writing based on oral traditions, the art of storytelling, or folklore elements. The first co-winner of this year's William Hugh Jansen Undergraduate Award for Distinguished Writing Creative category goes to Tyler Patton. For his short story, Red, from Professor Millward's English 307 in Fall 22. Tyler is the 2022 Paul and Alice Richardson Creative Writing Scholarship recipient and future intern at Pluck, the Journal of Appalachian Arts and Culture. Tyler plans to attend law school in Fall 24. Congratulations. The second co-winner of this year's William Hugh Jansen Undergraduate Award for Distinguished Writing Creative category goes to Lucas Bratcher. For his short story, Dan, also from Professor Millward's English 307. After graduation, Lucas plans to ride off in an airplane for the very first time. This summer, he'll be volunteering at the Carnegie Center and enjoying some free time while hosting a summer book club. Then he plans to go back to UK and pursue an MFA and hopefully become a professor. Congratulations, Lucas. The winner of this year's William Hugh Jansen Undergraduate Award for Distinguished Writing, Literary Studies category goes to Max Boileau. For his essay, Conafini's Clarification of Human Rights from Professor McCarr's English 171, Max is a senior majoring in neuroscience. Earlier this week, he presented his lab research at UKY's Substance Use Research event. He's planning to apply to graduate programs in the fall and considering a career in neuroscientific research upon graduation. Congratulations, Max. And our final two awards. These are Best Essay Awards selected from all of the 200-level Intro to Lit courses. So we have a lot of students in this category. So all of the sections of English 230, 260, 280, and 290. This year's winner is Taylor Decker. For her essay, Intertextuality in the Discussion of Womanhood and Feminine Mystery from Professor Sarmiento Cruz's English 230, Taylor is a freshman English major who was a runner-up in the BBHS Literary Magazine for Poetry and Governor's Cup District, third place for written composition. Her future plans consist of either going into English education or law. Congratulations. And the Best Essay Honorable Mention goes to Riley Moses for her essay, Bilingualism and Bilingual Sestina by Julia Alvarez, also from Professor Sarmiento Cruz's English 230. Riley is a sophomore media arts and studies major and a creative writing minor. Upon entering UK, she was awarded the Provost Scholarship and the Democratic Women's Scholarship. She was awarded a prize last semester for her final project in Word 112 that will be published in the upcoming 2023-24 Engaged Citizen textbook. Her goal is to work in the film or television industry as someone who works behind the scenes to bring shows and movies to life. Congratulations, Riley. And congratulations again to all of our awards recipients. And I would like to now present our substitute DGS, Mike Genovese, who will present the graduate awards. Thank you.
I understand Professor Damaris Hill might be in Italy at the moment, which we can all envy, but is one of the perks to being a successful professor. Sometimes you get to spend the summer in Italy doing your creative work. So I look forward to seeing what she comes up with when she returns to us. Our graduate students do so much work for the department, both our MFA students, our MA students, and our PhD students, teaching, researching, writing, and it's a privilege to present the awards for some of them for their excellent work here at UK. I wish I had printed this in larger font, but my struggling eyes will do their best. A university-wide teaching award, the 2022-23 Provost Outstanding Teaching Assistant Award, goes to Katie Coles this year. Katie Coles is a PhD candidate whose research explores the intersection of new media studies, the British 19th century, race and gender. Her dissertation examines the impact of 19th century imperial white womanhood on modern popular culture and social media. She was a fellow of the CELT Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Grad Lab. She has run collaborative teaching projects with the Louis B. Nunn Center for Oral Histories, CELT, and the Esports Lounge. Congratulations. I don't even think I have these in the right order. No, I got to give you your thing. Oh, I don't have it. The provost gave it to you. Provost outranks me, so that's better. The College of Arts and Sciences Outstanding TA Award winner for the best TA, I assume, in the College of Arts and Sciences at UK this semester, another large award, goes to Kamaya Tucker, a PhD student whose research focuses on Eurocentrism, decolonization, and remix. She has been the recipient of the Alan Nadel Award for the Best Graduate Student Essay, an honor conferred by the International Society for the Study of Narrative. Kamaya is grateful for this recognition of her teaching. She hopes to continue contributing to the humanities and the society through her teaching and research. Congratulations. I don't think I have one for you either. Okay. The Ellershaw Award goes to Hannah Schultz this year, a third-year English PhD candidate. While at UK, she has been the recipient of the Sauter Award and Ben Wathan Black Memorial Scholarship. She's currently at work on her dissertation, which is tentatively titled Preserving Nature, Mapping Patriarchal and Imperial Control in Victorian Fiction. Congratulations, Hannah. This time I have one. Oh, wait, I need the sticky note. Gotta keep the sticky notes. Don't see how the sausage is made. The William J. Sauter Award, which Hannah Schultz won previously, goes to Grace Fowles, a master's student graduating in May 2023. She studies early modern drama with particular interest in comedy, feminist theory, and theater and performing history. In the fall, she will begin an English PhD program at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Congratulations. There you are. The other recipient of the William J. Sauter Award goes to David Gifford, a third-year PhD student here at UK, obviously. Before coming to UK, he earned a bachelor's and a master's degree in English at Western Kentucky University, where he also taught for several years as part-time faculty. David is currently studying the intersection of religious and literary interpretation in Victorian literature and just successfully defended for his exams, which I took part in. So congratulations, David. Here you are. Sarah Garrett is the recipient of the Ben Wathan Black Memorial Graduate Scholarship in British Literature. Sarah is a second-year English MA student, previously completed her BA in Comparative Literature at Queen Mary, University of London, and Yale NUS College. This fall, she will be studying at the University of Southern California for her PhD in Comparative Literature. Congratulations, Sarah. There you are. The recipient of the Robert L. Doty English Graduate Support Fund is Alex Gergley, a PhD candidate currently investigating mood and aesthetics in 20th century American literature, asking how modernist authors attach value or explanatory force to representations of death and suicide, uplifting, if you will. He is assistant editor of the literary journal Early American Literature, in which he also has a publication, and he has an essay forthcoming in Mississippi Quarterly. Excellent, and congratulations. There you go. Annika Jensen is also a recipient of the Robert L. Doty English Graduate Support Fund Award, PhD candidate whose dissertation focuses on affect, labor, and identity formation and American women's war writing. She's currently working on a completely unrelated article for Tolkien Studies on queer time and precarity in Lord of the Rings, which I understand involves a war. There you are. Congratulations. And the final award goes to Daria Goncharova. Daria is a fifth-year PhD candidate in English whose research focuses on film and literature of the early Cold War. Passionate about both her research and teaching, Daria was an SOTL Grad Lab Research Fellow this year and drew on her preliminary observations and data to put together a 3-minute presentation on the effects of the group contract on students' communication skills that won her first place in the 2023 Grad Teach Live competition. She also serves as a vice president of the Emerging Scholars Organization, the national organization affiliate of the Society for the Study of Southern Literature, promoting professionalization and networking for early career and contingent scholars. Congratulations, Daria. There you are. And with no further ado, Professor Frank X. Walker will be presenting Creative Writing Awards with, I think, Julia Johnson. Are you doing it too? Did I hear that earlier? Okay, there we go. So, 2 poets. Thank you all.
Yeah, it takes 2 poets to add up to a whole lit person, it seems. This is the last section of awards for those of you getting antsy and waiting for coffee and other things afterwards. Julia, I'm going to have you join me for this special award we're about to give first, and then we'll proceed through the
It is my honor to introduce and award the inaugural Jane Gentry Vance Poetry Prize, established by Jane's daughters, Susanna Vance Scopelin and Lucy Vance Seligson. The prize honors and celebrates the legacy of Jane Gentry Vance, a professor of English at the University of Kentucky for 40 years. Prolific poet, 1986 recipient of the UK Alumni Association's Great Teacher Award, a 2013 College of Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame inductee, and Kentucky's Poet Laureate in 2007-2008. The fund provides 1 or more annual awards to undergraduate seniors majoring in English. Pursuing the creative writing track and who have demonstrated skill in creative nonfiction, fiction, and/or poetry. The first ever Jane Gentry Vance Poetry Prize 2023 is awarded to Eleni Karelis. I won't repeat what has already been said about Eleni's achievements, but would like to add a few things. Eleni was an intern in the Learning Lab. Her archival research project took the form of a slam poetry program on the topic of Appalachian activism in the 20th century, which she presented at the World Congress on Undergraduate Research in Coventry, England this April. I had the privilege of serving as Eleni's advisor for her honors thesis, the chapbook Appalachian Adolescence, an exploration in home, nature, and social progress. I know Jane would be particularly pleased that the first Jane Gentry Vance Award goes to Eleni, a native Kentuckian, and an honors student. Jane was a longtime faculty member of the honors program as well as the English department. I am also happy to present to Eleni, along with the award, a copy of the new and collected Poems of Jane Gentry, edited by Julia Johnson, published by the University Press of Kentucky, winner of the Thomas D. Clark Medallion Award. And this sort of ratty copy is not yours, it's a sample. So congratulations, Eleni.
Thank you, Julia. That was perfect. You see why she was the perfect person to give that award away, being so close to the Vance family, which almost explains why I get to give away the next one. This is the first academic year in almost, I want to say 50, but 40-something years that Gurney Norman hasn't been part of the faculty yet. His first year teaching was my first year as a creative writing student. So to make Terrence feel younger, this was the early 80s. And so one of the things we wanted to do to honor Gurney's legacy was to give away the first Gurney Norman Prize, and we were trying to figure out, along with Gurney's contribution and input and his wife, Naoka's input, just what to call it. And knowing Gurney, he really didn't care as long as it said Gurney Norman and Prize in it. And that it go to a Kentucky writer somewhere in the Ohio Valley water region and Appalachia. The hardest thing was narrowing it down, but thanks to Deidre White's careful stewardship of young people she's been working with in 107, she was able to find an amazing young man's portfolio that fit the bill. So I'll read a little bit about his bio. And as the old man, you can see my challenge with this 0.7 font, so I'll slide my reading glasses on and try harder. Eli Hughes is the 18-year-old son of Alicia and Rob Hughes. He is a 2022 graduate of Nicholas County High School and a sociology major at UK. Eli is a musician, avid reader, and a politically minded citizen. He plans to graduate from UK in 2025. The first Gurney Norman Prize in Fiction recipient is Eli Hughes. This next award goes to a person who's not here. He's a recipient of the Betty Combs Owen Recruitment Scholarship, which goes to the incoming MFA graduate student. They usually aren't here yet, unless they're really, really eager to be here. We have to steal them from somewhere else, but Jeremy Vance is a former firefighter and writer of creative nonfiction with a Southern slant. His work has been featured in Stonecrop Magazine and the Dead Mule Society of Southern Fiction. His professional goals include completing his MFA in creative writing at UK, a memoir publication, and eventually pursuing his PhD. So how about a hand for Jeremy Tavares? This next award, the person is here, is another Dantzler Award for Creative Nonfiction. Alicia Crow plans to earn her undergraduate degree in theater and English with a creative writing concentration here at UK. She would like to narrow down her focus in grad school and be accepted into Boston University's Fiction MFA program. Ouch. All the while, she attempts to write honest stories that center on addiction, abuse, trauma response, and identity. Congratulations, Alicia. We hate to lose the good ones. But to Boston, I won't take it personal. The Farquhar Award for Poetry goes to Shelby Grissom. Shelby is a senior, graduated in May. She will be attending Houston Christian University to get a Master's of Liberal Arts degree this fall. Shelby will continue to pursue writing fiction and poetry and intends to teach English at the high school level after getting her master's. Congratulations, Shelby Grissom. These next three awards are for MFA students. This first one is a young woman who's here as a poet, but she's won the award for nonfiction. I'll read her, the judge's comments. The judge said, Deidre Wright's essay, Duck, shows a woman trying to reconcile the complex truths of her heritage. She masterfully brings to life the details of her family story with honesty and compassion. She acknowledges the effects of generational trauma while testifying to the redemption power of love. Congratulations again to Deidre White. Deidre.
My students.
The equivalent award in fiction goes to another former TA of mine who also had the honor of, I think I've done all of his teaching observations. Are you here, Henry? Is Henry here? I'm sure he's here. I don't see his hat. He's got this amazing hat. I think the style's called the Gambler, big black with silver buckles around the edge, but I'll find what the judge said. Sunflower Polo is a captivating narrative that folds, doubles back, and flips on itself. In a moment, we experience the whole lives of the boy, the bimbo, and Alfie Lancaster through the charming commentary of a narrator who witnesses from high above the story. Sunflower Polo demonstrates control of craft elements, a brave and calculated narrative structure, and an ability to wrestle with the social, spiritual, and social afflictions of our time. With all the strange narrative might of Dennis Johnson and the careful psychological examination of Paul Beatty, reading Sunflower Polo is like watching a life or death egg and spoon race, compelling us from the opening moments and asking us to hold our breath until the very end. Guess we all have to find this story. Congratulations to Henry Nollenberg. Also not present is the winner of the Poetry Award. These are all judged by former students in the program. The winner of the Poetry Award is Alfonso Zapata for his poem, Como Mi Duele. Of the poem, Dane Ritter says, Como Mi Duele exhibits a true mastery of language and uses its experimentation with the page as well as stanza breaks to its advantage as it weaves these two separate scenes, a card game and a pop star Selena's final performance, into a moving and beautiful rumination of intimate family moments. Congratulations, Alfonso. We have two Nikki Finney graduate fellowships. This first one is for an incoming MFA student who usually also isn't present. She'll be here next year. Keyshawn Murphy is currently teaching school in Andover, Maryland, and is the recipient of next year's Nikki Finney Graduate Fellowship. Congratulations, Keyshawn. but the current Nikki Finney Graduate Fellowship, somebody who had a chance to have a nice leisurely lunch with the donors who contributed a lot of money to make sure this fellowship happens, is in this room and captivated them. I think they're going to write another check. So she did the great job. They were impressed with everything she's doing and is about to do, including a wonderful, amazing summer opportunity. Congratulations, Jasmine Witherspoon. And Jasmine gets 2 awards at the same time because she's also the author of the broadside, the graduate broadside. If you walked in the door and saw those beautiful medium-sized posters that have poems on the inside, on the outside, feels like it's on the inside. She's the author of the one on the left. So congratulations and congratulations. And we could have saved her a trip. Lenny Corellis, one more time for the other poetry broadside. I think that's everything in my folder. I'll bring up the chair to release you from this hostage situation. That's Rappaport. There's more.
Thank you so much to Dr. Sizemore, Dr. Genovese, and Professors Johnson and Walker. I'm afraid he may have spoken a little too soon. We have a little bit more, but I won't keep you too long. But we are now turning to the faculty recognition portion of our awards ceremony. Before we do, just one more round of applause, I hope, for all of our students and their accomplishments. But faculty recognition, because without our faculty, we would not be able to help our students achieve so much. So, since our last awards day in 2022, we've been joined by 2 new faculty members that I'd like to acknowledge today, and you don't need to come up, but please wave your hands at us and let us, I've seen both of you, although maybe one had to step out, but Dr. Japnanik Makar, who specializes in global Anglophone literature and post-colonial studies and just completed her first year as a tenure-track assistant professor in our department. And Dr. Geronimo Sarmiento Cruz, who specializes in poetry and poetics and minority literatures, and also just completed his first year as a tenure-track assistant professor in our department. Welcome. We have also seen the successful promotion to associate professor with tenure of our colleague, Dr. Emily Shortzleff, whose specialties include Renaissance literature and culture, with particular emphasis on drama. Congratulations, Emily. For the next few awards that I want to mention quickly, the College of Arts and Sciences Faculty Awards, those will be offered at a separate ceremony in the fall, so I won't be presenting those today or taking too much time detailing the tremendous accomplishments of the recipients, but we do want to recognize them, so please stand when your name is called so we can congratulate you. The first is congratulations to Peter Collini, who can't be here with us today, but who is a college recipient of the A&S Outstanding Teaching Award. Students have called his classes revelatory. Congratulations, Peter. Congratulations go to Frank X. Walker, who is a college recipient of an A&S Promotion of Diversity or Inclusion Award. I promised not to detail everything, but I'll say at least that one educator from the Fayette County Public Schools Success Academy has written on behalf of his gratitude for Frank's generous engagement with students and the community, noting that the impact of his work cannot be measured in dollars and will be felt for years to come. Congratulations, Frank. And congratulations go to Michelle Sizemore, who is a college recipient of an A&S Distinguished Service or Engagement Award. Praise for her work includes her superlative candidacy for this award that noted the volume and range of her work and the passion and brilliance she brings to it. And one more, congratulations go also to Crystal Wilkinson, who can't be here today because she's at a ceremony which by now should have named her officially, so I think I'm not speaking out of turn, a 2023-24 University Research Professor by the Office of the Vice President for Research. Congratulations, Crystal. We have one further award to name and another person to honor, so don't leave yet, but we're closing in here. The award is the Ellen Rosenman Distinguished Faculty Annual Award. The Rosenman Award recognizes best comprehensive performance by a faculty member across research, teaching, and service. The winner is selected by a committee of 3 endowed professors in the department who review nominations by the Faculty Merit Evaluation Review Committee. The award is named for a wonderful former colleague and department chair, and this year's recipient is Professor Damaris Hill, who can't be here today because she's currently accepting one of her many recent honors in Italy. But in brief, her most recent and widely acclaimed book is Breath Better Spent, Living Black Girlhood. Some of her most recent honors in the last 12 months include prestigious fellowships from the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts, the Hermitage Artists Retreat, Brown University, where she was a visiting fellow in race and ethnicity at the Center for the Study of Race and Ethnicity in America, the Civitella Ranieri Foundation in Umbria, Italy, the Rona Jaffe Foundation, and Harvard University, where she's been selected to be a fellow at the Hutchins Center for African and African American Research for the 2023-24 year. She has also received, but deferred, a semester-long fellowship at the John Carter Brown Library at Brown University. She's an outstanding teacher, a mentor to students and junior faculty alike, and deeply committed both to the workings of our department and our larger university, whether through her service in the Unite Research Priority Area, her featured remarks at the MLK 50th anniversary celebration this year, or her willingness to step up amidst all of this to serve as our interim director of graduate studies this year. It's a pleasure to name her as the recipient of this award, although she's not here to accept it. And finally, and I'm going to slow down for this part, in a more bittersweet moment of recognition, it's time for us to acknowledge the retirement of another valued colleague, Marion Rust. Marion Rust has been a member of the UK English department since 2007 and is a celebrated scholar of early American literature and feminist criticism. She's the author of Prodigal Daughters, Susanna Rowson's Early American Women, a Norton Critical Edition of Rowson's Charlotte Temple, and over 24 scholarly essays. Since 2018, she has served as editor of the flagship journal in her field, Early American Literature, which is the affiliate journal of both the Society of Early Americanists and the Modern Language Association Forum on Early American Literature. Under her leadership, EAL published many issues, but 3 highly influential special issues, Reframing 1620, Early American Fictionality, and most recently, Dear Sister, Phyllis Wheatley's Futures, which was the first dedicated to a Black author. Throughout all of this, Professor Rust has been extremely committed to mentoring students and junior colleagues. Honors such as her 2012 Excellence in Mentorship Award from the American Society for 18th Century Studies and her 2022 College of Arts and Sciences Teaching Award for undergraduate research mentoring barely scratch the surface of her long-standing dedication to teaching and supporting the efforts of undergraduate students, graduate students, and other faculty, particularly those early in their careers, as I had the good fortune to see firsthand. Her contributions to the department will be sorely missed. Marion, today we'd like to present you, if you'll come up. We'd like to present you with this memento for your 16 years of service and wish you well in your retirement. Don't be a stranger. This concludes our Awards Day program. So again, thank you to our speakers and our award winners, and we hope to see you all again next year.